Yes, man, we are jam-packed with so much to discuss regarding Governor Cuomo and the allegations against him. There is a lot to go over. The allegations, his response. We've got some new photographs. De Blasio weighing in. He tried to ask de Blasio to fire an aide that was somebody who accused him of harassment.
Oy.
Plus his brother Chris Cuomo and all the weirdness that comes with that. Then off of Cuomo Palooza, we've got a warden in Ghislaine Maxwell's jail, murdered her husband.
Whoa.
We've got a Capitol riot conspiracy theory with some sad news there. Obama cancels his 40th birthday party. Congress
60th.
Shenanigans. A Gene Hackman update. The dude who got taped to a chair on an airline plane. Louis C.K. is coming back. And
What a weird day.
we know who's going to be hosting Jeopardy. Bam.
Is it one of us?
It's not.
Oh, then I don't care.
It's not.
That's fine.
I wish it was, because if I was hosting Jeopardy, I'd have you and JSabs there. It's just the two commentary.
Just sitting next to you.
Yeah, they'd be like, do they have to be here? I don't understand this. I'm like, yes, they do.
I don't know, JSabs. Do we have to be here? I don't know, Frank. Do we have to be here?
Integral part of the show. And then sometimes
Just
I'll
there to
sit
annoy
inside.
everyone. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not here for all the
We
glory.
could do one question each as we go.
Yeah.
That's sweet. They should have multiple hosts.
All right, Frankie C. Let's get into Cuomo Palooza. There's a lot here to
have to?
unbox.
Okay, let's go.
The Attorney General of New York came out yesterday morning and laid out a slew of accusations against. Let's call it what it is. She did a 5-month investigation, thousands of pieces of evidence, tons of conversations, and they conclude that 11 women, some staffers, some not, over the course of his governorship have been harassed by Governor Cuomo. 179 witnesses were interviewed, including Governor Cuomo. She released, the Attorney General released a 168-page report with 3 appendices containing more than 450 pages of exhibits that included handwritten notes, emails, text messages documenting the governor's alleged misbehavior. I kind of saw, like, she put out a text and she was like, "Hey, you're gonna have a big announcement at 11 o'clock in the morning," and I was like, "Uh-oh, this is."
She texted you?
Not me. She
Attorney
tweeted.
General?
She tweeted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
What I say, text?
you said text.
Did I say text?
She sent out a text.
She sent out a text. I feel like a 70-year-old. She texted on the bird thing.
She sent out one of those what are they called? Telegrams on your phone.
Yeah. We had talked about some of these things prior. We've got that on some previous podcasts if you want to go back to that. But here's what I found really interesting. She did this at 11 o'clock in the morning. I think she wrapped up around 12 or so, whatever it was. But like not even 15 minutes later, he had his own retort. And his response, I'm watching his response and I'm like, is this produced? Like I didn't know if it was
It
live.
had to be because
Total.
there were clips of photos and stuff in it.
Totally pre-produced. And so so Frank just nailed it on the head. He's got photographs. So basically everybody's alleging him of being handsy, groping. It kind of runs the gamut of him literally groping a woman to just being overly creepily handsy,
When you
and
say
everything.
groping, I'm not familiar with the specific charges here or accusations. Like that kind of groping, like grabbing the chest and all that?
Yeah.
All right, that's not good.
Yeah. Wait, I got audio of him singing. I got pictures. We got a lot of stuff to comb through.
Well, the singing itself should be enough to kick him out of office.
The singing is creepy. Here's what I've determined after all this. This guy is he's a level 11 creeper.
That's pretty high.
He goes all the way to 11.
That's up there.
Yes. Other creepers, just 10.
Because 10 is the max. To
This
go to 11.
creeper all the way to 11.
That's extra creep.
Yeah, you look at Cuomo and you ask yourself, how much more creepy can this creeper be? And the answer is none. None more creeper.
Right. How much creep could a creep Cuomo creep?
God, I love Spinal Tap. But yeah, he had this pre-produced thing, and in this production piece, in this response, was him touching all. Like he just was like, "Look at all the people I like to touch." Like this was his defense. Like I'm a toucher. Like I look at all these people, and every photo was just him, like just like face squishing people and kissing them and hugging them and everything. And
I don't know. I mean, if all the accusations are just people, because he does this when he says hello, he grabs you by the face and he kisses you on the cheek. Yeah, it might be creepy, but is that harassment?
it's a good question.
But if there's more, I'm sure there's more
There's more.
to it than that.
But it's a good question, and I think what he's learning, and I think what a lot of people, again, the lines on these things tend to move, and even the innocent touch on the face,
Yeah, that's no good anymore.
it feels like it's no good anymore. I mean, I don't really love it, and
I don't
here's
want people touching me either, but that doesn't seem sexual.
it doesn't. But like, okay, so we're Italian.
Right.
This is a fairly common thing in Italian culture. In fact, a lot of people. I'll let everybody in on something. What a lot of people don't know, but Cuomo in Italian means sexual harassment. I don't know if everybody knew that. That's
Fair. That's
when you
a fact.
when you translate Cuomo into English, it means sexual harassment.
Right.
But we kind of grew up around this, like uncles and cousins
Yeah, it's
and
an excited greeting. Hey, come here, you.
close
Watch The
friends.
Godfather. I think they do it like a million times. Not to say that the Godfather characters are anybody you should emulate, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than just that.
Yeah, so there's a truth to that. It is sort of part of our culture of us being warm and congenial. That being said, I don't touch anybody
No,
that I have any sort of professional.
no, you don't.
Like I know well enough to reserve that for family members, eldest friends.
Yeah, I don't think I'd even do that at all.
I don't even do that to friends. I mean, I don't even like to do the kiss hello
You
thing.
come anywhere near me, I'm knocking you out.
I'm on the record on this podcast as saying like the great thing about the pandemic is I don't have to do the kiss hello thing anymore, which
That's the furthest with family members or whoever. It's the kiss on the cheek. That's it. You come in for the kiss, the hug, and that's it.
that's it.
I don't think I've ever grabbed someone unless it was like a joke. I've never grabbed someone's face. Hey. But hey, everybody has their way. But yeah, you don't do that to anybody outside your family. I wouldn't do that to a coworker, certainly.
You really don't. And here's the thing too. When it comes to somebody in public office and there's great tragedies, you got to do the hug. You're there for people. You're being supportive. But what I've found in looking at this over the last 2 days is he did it to a little bit of a crazy extent. And it also feels like at times he was doing this. He was doing it in a way where he would have some plausible deniability. Like one woman, her shirt said something and he wanted to see what it said, so he grabbed her shirt, but he touched her chest in the midst of doing it. And then he was like, "Oh, what does your shirt say?" Like, to me, that's inappropriate because you could just be like, "What's your shirt say?" You
Right.
don't have to grab a woman by the chest,
No,
right?
you don't. I don't think you do.
And it's and the thing is that you can be like, "Oh, it's just I was just trying to see what her shirt." See, there's that built-in innocence, like he's trying. There's that plausible deniability, which to me is very, very dangerous because that is some extremely predatorial stuff going on there because
Yeah,
you're
very good.
calculating already your defense in the future because you know how inappropriate this really
Right.
is.
If it was unless he's stupid and he just went, let me do, oh, whoops,
Yeah.
didn't realize what he was doing until it was over.
In
Who the
his
hell knows?
response, in his response, and I'm trying to bring up the video here. I'm trying to get to the portion where he had all the photos. I mean, he had a lot of photos, and he used his mom. Like he's like, I learned this from my mother, and he showed a picture of his mother like holding his face and like about to give him a kiss, which is like that's where that behavior belongs.
Yeah.
A mother's love of a son, family members, that's where that type of behavior really belongs, not in, you know. Now here, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, yeah, let me just get back.
He does touch a lot of faces.
You could see here. Apologies to those that are listening. There's always a good reason to go watch on YouTube or Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube and Facebook, and hit that bell notification so you know exactly when we start a show. Oh, this was my favorite one because I actually know who this is. Frank, you probably know too. Like the second photo in is, and by the way, these are all calculated. Like, let's start with the black girl. Then let's go to the old white guy. This old white guy is the Suffolk County Executive Steve Ballone.
Oh God, I know him.
And I would just love to know, like, how does that feel? Like, you were the example in
Yeah.
Cuomo's denying sexual harassment video. How does
To be
that feel?
fair, though, I didn't know it was him until you said it.
Yeah. So as we see here, he's touching a little kid's face, a little black girl's face, an old man's face, an old woman's face. He's kissing men, he's kissing women. And that's what he's saying. He's like, I do this to everybody. Yeah, but that doesn't, that's the exact sort of thing you would say. De Niro, there was just De Niro in there. That's
Yeah,
the exact thing that you would say to cover up all your fucking creepy ass behavior.
I hear you. I mean, I'm sure he has people telling him this is a good. I put this video out. This isn't his own creation.
Yeah, no. And he goes on to say he addresses two of the allegations pretty quickly. I forget the one, but the other one has to do with the audio that I'm going to play for you here. And so basically what he said with this girl was that she was a victim of harassment and he was trying to help her because he has a family member who was sexually harassed and he thought that he could help her by talking to her about it. Okay, seems like good intentions.
Right.
Appropriate for a boss/governor relationship to a entry level/assistant young lady. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Somebody comes to me and goes, I'm having all these issues. And blah, blah. I go, okay. Let's get you some help. Let's see who we can get you to talk to somebody to help out.
Yeah. I mean, did the woman come to him and say this? Like, say, I have problems. Can you help? Or did
I don't think she asked for help, but she let it be known that she was a survivor of a harassment type situation. I don't know to what degree it was. I don't.
so?
I
How
don't
did
know.
he try to help? He tried to talk to her about it.
Yeah, but then he would start to say. But then, so he would say things like, "Are you dating? Are you? And it's like, And he said he wanted to make sure that she was in like a healthy relationship. But I don't know how true that really all is.
How do we know? It's at this point. I mean, unless I'm sure there's other evidence, but it's their word against his. I don't know what kind of evidence.
Well, it is, but in certain cases, it's been corroborated by all these 179 other people.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Who say they've seen some of this. Now, the worst ones I don't think were witnessed, and the one is really bad that I'll share with you. But here's the thing with this too, and I think this is where people get a little lost. This isn't Epstein. This isn't Weinstein. But it's still not okay.
Yeah, I mean it's inappropriate, in the workplace or it's you're right. Any inappropriate, unwanted physical contact, it's a weird like you could shake hands, but then you can't. There's a line somewhere, and you got to know that, especially if you're the boss. You can't blur that line. You got to keep it nice and professional.
Yeah. And this is the worst. So this is one of the worst because I've never been sexually harassed, but I have been what I like to call, you know, reference harassed, where somebody who's old and not funny makes a reference to you and then proceeds to explain the reference to you for 15 minutes when you don't care and you just want to move on with your life. I call that reference harassment, Frank. Is it as serious as sexual harassment? No. But for those of us who aren't sexually harassed or even have a potential to ever being sexually harassed, like myself, it's as bad as it gets for us.
Right.
And so that's what he does here is this is with Charlotte Bennett. This is the young lady. She calls him on the phone. He picks up. He starts singing a song. And then he like made up lyrics to a song. Then he sings the actual lyrics to the song, which is Do You Love Me? That song. Do you love me? Do you love that song?
Okay.
And it's just a minute-long clip of the most awkward exchange.
Strange. Who was why was this recorded?
She recorded it, and I don't know.
Recorded. Okay.
I would see people being suspicious about that. Like, why is she recording these phone calls?
Either way, it's recorded or not, it's there.
My only guess, because I think people then think, oh, she was out to get him. But if I had to guess, something happened prior to this, and she thought, I better
get this on record.
Nobody's going to believe me. I
Yep.
better get this on. I better have a record of this. All right, so here it is. This picks up with he just picked up the phone.
Hello?
Hi, Governor.
Yeah.
This is Charlotte.
Okay. Are you ready?
I am ready.
You don't know that song
No,
before your time.
it's before my time, but I appreciated the singing.
Do you love me? Do you really love me? Do you love me? Do you care?
I'll have to listen now.
Yep. It's like the 50s. It's before even my time.
Oh, there you go.
She doesn't give a shit.
Now I have less of an excuse.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. He was saying, "Are you ready?" Though,
She
didn't know the song, so he sang the real song.
It's not terribly inappropriate, but it is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It's also that like I'm in command, I'm in charge. I can take this conversation, or I could do whatever I want.
That's a little much. I'm sorry. I think it's just, are you ready? Like they had to go over something, and he just had a song in his head. It sounds.
Yeah,
like.
no, I agree. But then he starts with the "Do you love me?"
Well, that's the real
and
song.
like the double entendre thing of it all. I think it's all part of this guy's MO.
It could be, but taken out of, if you just take that thing alone, it just sounds like he had the song in his head and he was singing it. And then she didn't know the real song, so he sang the real lyrics. I'm not defending the guy in the slightest.
Yeah.
However, this sounds like he's just singing a song. Like it doesn't sound like he's hitting on it.
I don't know.
or
It feels
anything.
like you're pro sexual harassment, Frank. I don't
Okay,
know.
I can't with you. No, I'm not pro sexual harassment, or am I pro anything Cuomo? But this just sounds like he had a song in his head, and he going, "Are you ready?" And if she knew the song, I think that would have been the end of it.
Oh God, no, it wouldn't have been because he has to explain to her. He has to mansplain to her how the world works.
Oh
and
my
what's
God!
going on?
I don't know if he told her what the song was. I don't see that as sexual harassment. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Why am I so offended then?
Because I don't know, you're an idiot. But it just sounded like he was singing I was ready to come out, guns blazing here. But when it was, "Are you ready?" and she didn't know the song, he went, "Do you love me? Do you love me?" Is the song, is the actual song.
Yeah.
Those are the lyrics.
I hate when people hold on to these things and then they explain it to you and it's like, yeah, I didn't get it. Let's move on. Like, stop.
He's an old
trying.
man, too. I mean, old people, no offense to old people, but they explain everything.
There are very few people that will explain. Like, there are some people that I'm like, oh, that's a good, explain that to me. I want to know more. But there are some people that I deal with that it's like, meh, let's move on from this.
Yeah.
I didn't get it, and
It
you're
was a little
still talking about
bizarre,
it.
sure, but it sounded like he just had that song in his head, and he went, "Oh, you ready? Oh, you're." I mean, it's stupid. I'll
It's
give you that,
incredibly stupid.
and it's weird, but it didn't sound like he was harassing her.
He was harassing me right there. I'll tell you that.
Oh, sure.
All right, here's the next. Here's the next thing that has come out. Here's a photograph of a young lady whose identity obviously is being protected, and Governor Cuomo. This is the moment right after Cuomo allegedly groped this executive assistant in his home. This photo was just released. It's part of the whole probe. Staffer is only named as executive assistant number 1. This took place inside the executive mansion in Albany on December 31st, 2019. As she held up the camera, Cuomo moved his hand to grab her butt cheek and began to rub it for at least
Oh.
5 seconds, the report alleges. The assistant, who's in her 30s, was shaking so much during this interaction that the photos came out blurry, and Cuomo suggested the two sit down to take one more. He then allegedly told the woman to send the picture to another aide, Alyssa McGrath, who has also spoken about sexual harassment. Goddamn pop-up ads on stupid video. Okay. Who has also spoken out about sexual harassment in the governor's office and said not to share the photograph with anyone else. The woman testified that she did not know why the governor wanted her to send the photograph to Miss McGrath, but guessed that the governor wanted to make Miss McGrath jealous or wanted to see what her reaction was.
Yikes.
The unnamed aide told investigators that she immediately deleted the blurry selfies because she was embarrassed and didn't want Cuomo to see how nervous she was. Investigators tried to retrieve the deleted images but were not able to. The woman said she didn't report what happened because she was terrified. The way that he was so firm with me that I couldn't show anyone else that photo, I was just terrified that if I shared what was going on, that I would somehow, that it would somehow get around. And if Stephanie Benton or Melissa DeRosa heard that, I was going to lose my job.
Yeah, that's not good. That's
Cuomo admitted to taking the selfie, but denied what happened prior to the selfie. He said that it was her idea because he did not like taking selfies. This assistant also alleged that Cuomo groped her breast in the executive mansion on November 16th of 2020. She was trying to leave the home and return to the Capitol, but the governor allegedly pulled her in for a close hug before slamming the door of his home office shut. You're going to get us in trouble, the woman said. She told Cuomo, who replied, I don't care. His demeanor wasn't like, ha ha. It was like, I don't care. It was at this moment he was sexually driven. I could tell, and the way he said it, I could tell. The governor then slid his hand up her blouse and grabbed her breast, cupping her breast over her bra.
yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big no-no for anyone listening. Big no-no.
Yeah. And there's a lot of story. I mean, we talked about this prior, that he yelled at one of the investigators to keep Cuomo. He's a bit of an intimidator. Like, he tries to push people around to get them. And look at this photo, Frank. Doesn't he look a little drunk in that photo? A little glassy-eyed?
A little glassy-eyed, a little very relaxed,
Yeah.
very, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I think about my wife now, my daughter, when she like, this is nothing that I would want. Like, this, people shouldn't have to go through this. Again, it's not
No,
Weinstein, but it's not.
No, it's not good either.
Yeah.
No, nobody should have to go through any of that.
So de Blasio's chimed in because, de Blasio and him hate each other.
Right.
These two hate each other. He was on Morning Joe this morning, and he said that, let's see here. There was an incident involving a critical statement that so he accused Governor Cuomo of once demanding that de Blasio fire a spokeswoman that he had working for him, who later on went on to make public the fact that she was harassed by the governor. So during Morning Joe, he said the incident involved a critical statement the aide made that set off Cuomo, who the mayor likened to a Shakespearean villain. He demanded that I fire her as a way of showing that she was wrong, de Blasio said. I mean, it's endless and it's small and it's petty, but it got worse. And I think it's part of this tragic kind of Shakespearean reality where power corrupted this guy more and more each year. De Blasio didn't identify the aide, but I mean, you add two and two together, you can figure out who it is. It's a young lady named Karen Hinton. She served as his press secretary for about a year before she resigned in May of 2016. Hinton said that the incident involved a statement she made to the New York Times about a news conference held by both city and state officials in 2015 amid a Legionnaire's disease outbreak in the Bronx. Hinton told the Times that then City Health Commissioner Mary Bassett actually had to basically interrupt the state commissioner to respond to questions about the city's performance, adding that the state health commissioner, Howard Zucker, should have had more respect. Afterward, Hinton said de Blasio freaked out over Cuomo's response. He calls me and basically says, shut up and stop talking about it because he's going to accuse me of killing New Yorkers over Legionnaires. So de Blasio tells her to shut up and stop talking about it because Cuomo is going to call him out for killing New Yorkers over those Legionnaires.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a friggin' mess.
Yeah.
That is insane.
But this is the kind of shit that this guy does. He calls people up, he bullies them, he pushes them around.
Yeah.
That's not
No, that's no good.
ideal behavior.
No, it is not.
By the way, Biden sold his ass out fast.
Well, they asked him point blank.
You saw that? This came out at 11 by like his 1 o'clock press conference. He was like, oh, he should resign.
What's he going to say?
He should totally resign. I mean, usually you say like, I guess an investigation already happened. I'm just surprised that everybody, I actually give them kudos because usually you expect these politicians to be bigger slime balls, but they're all saying there's nobody that's standing behind this guy. Nobody.
He's still, I don't know how this moves forward. Is there like going to be a trial? Is it going to be?
So great point. So none of this is criminal. This is all civil. The attorney general said none of this is criminal. This is all civil, with the exception of the hootie grab in the residence. But that would be Albany. The Albany Police Department, I believe, are involved, and they're investigating. Now they have to figure out if they can impeach him. He already said he's going to fight this thing. So. But we talked about this already. Like, we've been talking about this for a while. Like, the countdown is on in this guy, and I feel like things just heated up until how much longer can he survive with everybody, including the president of the United States, saying
it's not good? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he could run for president.
When you think about it, I mean, and again, I'm not comparing the two, but Trump's playbook is just don't cower to the pressure. Don't get canceled.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he takes that approach.
Possibly. Just deny until you can't, until everything goes away. I mean,
I don't know what it is. Because if you remember when Weinstein got accused, he held a huge press conference. And he's like, we're going to fight this thing. And these women are trying to go out for money. It was this rah-rah speech of they're not going to take me down. And like 3 days later, he was in cuffs.
Yeah.
Because it all then came out, and the scope of how bad it was, was kind of revealed.
Yeah, which was a lot. And this, I don't know how much worse it's getting, but there's nothing good. Again, with this, there's usually nothing good every day.
Now, this all broke yesterday, and Chris Cuomo, the brother of Andrew Cuomo, Fredo, who's on CNN. Okay, this yesterday and today. This is the story. Like even COVID, Delta, all of it's taken a back seat to this. For an entire hour on CNN, Chris Cuomo did not mention this one bit. Not one mention. He started his show with the Delta variant is the most dangerous thing, and that is what we are discussing on this program. And for 1 hour did not mention the biggest scandal of a governor of one of the biggest states in the union being accused and confirmed by that state's attorney general hands it off to Don Lemon, and the first thing Don Lemon does is start with this story because it's the lead story.
Yeah.
How this son of a bitch has a job is beyond me. It's beyond me.
A contract, and he can't. He's involved a little bit, right? He
I
can't
don't even know
discuss
how
it.
CNN has this guy on the air.
know.
He's in a position where he can't discuss the biggest for an hour. Your network is missing out on the biggest story of the day, of the week.
No, it's.
Could
You know
you
what?
imagine if you went into the program director's office and went, I can't talk about this huge thing that's happening that everybody's tuning in to hear I can't talk about it. You'd be like, they'd be like, what? You're fired. Get out.
Yeah, you're out until this is over, or you're just out.
Look, I think this guy should be fired. I've said that before. This is total bullshit that he can't talk about anything bad that happens to his
He's
brother.
involved. He's involved in it,
And he shouldn't be. But
No, he shouldn't. But it's his
at
brother.
the very least, go, hey, you know what? You take a sick day. It's time for you to be out. Let's say it's the summertime. You had a already scheduled vacation. We have to cover the news, and you're interfering with that.
Yeah, agreed.
He's being shitty to his audience, to his network. All for what? His brother, I'm sorry, your brother's a scumbag, and everybody calls you Fredo, but that's not an easy place to be. But this is what it is.
Yeah, that's the big story at prime time. You got to talk about the big story, but it's I guess maybe they're standing behind him. I don't know.
Again,
I don't
how
know why.
anybody tunes into this guy and shows any loyalty to him is beyond. He should have a 0 rating. There is no reason to watch him. There's none.
The only thing I could think of is that everything is this big story, and his hour is just a break from it. And maybe they saw it as, you know what? Let's go back and talk about the second story.
Nah.
It's not ideal, but all right.
Remember when Whitney Houston? These are everybody is tuning in every 15 minutes, and
I know.
it wasn't even on his crawl.
Yeah.
It wasn't anywhere.
Yeah, no, it's not good. He shouldn't have been. Once stuff like this happens, he should, or at the very least, it's his show, and someone comes in and does the story, and then he comes back. At the very least.
Again, I think he should be fired. But if I had to compromise, that's fair. Because you got to have it.
Yeah, let's bring on maybe Don Lemon for a segment for 20 minutes, and he'll talk to you about before his show.
Yeah.
He'll talk to you about it. I can't. Great, fine. Take a back seat.
Who is this guy's boss? And how is he letting him get away? Your network is. This is all you have. This is all you losers have, is politics and scandal, and the biggest one comes up, and it's devoid from your network for an entire hour.
That ain't good.
And
That's not how to run a network.
And by the way, let's be honest. Even if you have a loyal MSNBC person, even if you have a loyal Fox, I don't know who he's up against, Tucker or who's the other fat fuck? I don't know.
Who cares? Hannity.
Hannity. Even if you're up against one of them, everybody is abandoning their thing to be like, I wonder what Fredo's going to say about his piece of shit brother. They're all tuning in to see what he does, and he could have just not said anything and be like, I wonder if he's going to get to it in the next segment. He literally started his show with, we are talking about COVID. It's the most important thing. That is what we are focusing on tonight. So he basically said, just go ahead and tune out because I'm not going to talk about this.
Here's another point that's a little, what's the word? It's a little bit of bullshit here, because everybody shits on networks like CNN and everything for being ratings grabbers. But when they don't go at the big story, I know it's for a different reason, but when they don't highlight the big story, it's, well, you got to cover the big story. That's everybody's going to tune into. I'm not defending.
I get it.
I'm just pointing out.
I think your
a little
argument,
bit of hypocrisy.
I think that argument would be solid if it wasn't for the fact that they talked about it leading up to that show and then talked about it immediately once that show was over.
True. No, I'm saying that's not the reason they didn't talk about it. Isn't because of any
Right.
they want the ratings and they want to do whatever they can for the ratings, but the reason they didn't talk about it had nothing to do with the ratings.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
I don't know.
I'm
Did
just
I
saying.
cover everything there? That was 35 minutes.
Do you want to take like a breath? Are you all right?
There's so much.
Take your blood pressure?
So much shit has been coming out since this came out
Yeah, it's not
yesterday
good.
morning that it's
None of it good. Especially
and I
the
think
singing.
people are going to miss the audio stuff. They're going to miss that picture. So I'm glad
It's
we got
out there.
a
Yeah,
chance
but
to go through it all.
we consolidated it for you.
Yeah.
So that's good. We're here for you.
The countdown begins. I mean, pick a day, Frank. What do you think?
Today? I will
It's
say
Wednesday.
August 14th. No.
10 days.
No. That's the day supposedly.
When is Biden supposed to?
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying.
Is that when?
That's the same day. Maybe he
Everybody's
just
going
got it
down.
mixed up. His crystal ball was foggy.
Yeah.
And he said, no, it's not Biden. It's Cuomo I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's like exactly one of those people. It's like, oh, well, I was close.
Yeah.
I was in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I knew it was some jerk from Queens or whatever. Oh, wait, Biden's not the jerk from Queens. He's from whatever the fuck, Delaware. But I'd say, a month, end of the month?
Why you think that long?
I think this is going to get dragged out, and I think he's very stubborn. I don't see him going anywhere until this.
I was gonna say Friday is a pressure point day.
As in this Friday.
As in, if he could make it past this Friday without without cowering to the pressure, he's got a shot at going the distance and keeping this. But I honestly, I mean, I don't know. Again, this got progressively worse today.
Yeah.
And
No, it is.
if more, and what's like, more women who weren't included in this are going to start to come forward, and a hostile work environment. That was the other thing. He hires. This is my wife's point. He hires this crew to come in and to teach not only him. This was the kind of the thing that's a scumbag piece of shit thing to do. He's like, I'm taking this seriously. We've hired people to come in to show us what the appropriate behavior is for the entire staff, including myself. Motherfucker, the entire staff ain't accused of grabbing hooties of assistants. You know what I'm saying? You are.
Yeah,
and you're
maybe
acting
you
like
sit in that class.
no, everybody. We got this. Everybody's going to go through the class. No, everybody doesn't need to go through the class,
No.
it sounds like.
Hey, he's being stuck. He's sticking to his playbook of I'm not. It's
Yeah.
your word versus mine.
But who's footing the bill for this? Which was my wife's point. Who's footing
Not
the
us. Oh yeah, us. That's right.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't believe we should have to pay for any of this. This should come out of your fucking end.
Hey, maybe it is. Doubt it.
I would like to see that. I'd like to see the.
I mean, that
tax
has.
returns.
Doesn't that happen like in every company? There's a meetings like that, like every year, once a year at least.
I don't know. You have to ask JSabs. She's the HR person. She's the HR expert.
I like how all our necessary meetings of like sexual harassment training, all that stuff. None of that for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
I guess you
Jason-
can't. How much can you sexually harass over Skype?
Jason, that's true. That's true. I wonder how. Although that Jeffrey Toobin managed to pull it off.
Yep.
JSabs is like, remember Catch Me If You Can? He was the best check forger in the country, so the FBI had to hire him. That's the same thing with JSabs. She's broken so many HR rules that the HR people just had to hire her to teach the classes.
How do you? Yeah. Can you tell? Basically, just describe your day to everyone, and that's what we'll put a big line through. Like, don't do this.
Yeah. I mean, I think Friday. I think Friday is the day. I think.
Yeah. Why is it Friday? Also, there's the chance of him being impeached.
That's true, and that's the other thing too. So he has there's a Democratic majority in the assembly, and not one of them is on his side. They said it before. Not one is backing him. So they could adopt articles of impeachment on him for sure.
Yeah. And that's
But that's the thing. You don't go through that. Like, you should not. I know with Trump, you should not put the government through that. Like, don't Like if you know the conclusion is you're out, just be out now and let everybody let them put the pieces in place to move on and keep going.
Do you think in his mind he actually thinks he's 100% innocent?
I think he does because I don't
So
think
then he's gonna fight it.
I don't think that you produce a piece like he did. Like you and I are in this business. You know that those things, although they're sometimes 3-4 minutes, his was 14. Those things don't just come together in 5 minutes. Those take hours and days to produce. And that was carefully curated. Make sure we have a black lady. Make sure there's a
Speech, all this
Chinese
stuff.
guy in there, a young kid, an old veteran. Like there's an old veteran wearing a hat. It's fucking political correct bingo, and he checked all the damn boxes.
I think there was a panda in there too at one point.
And then and then used his own mom to be like, look, it's not my fault. Mom used to kiss me this way back in the old country.
His mom was like, "Ah, you son of a bitch."
What the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm sure your mom hit you with a wooden spoon. It doesn't mean that you should
Can't do that to your
employees.
staff. No, that's true. That's a good point.
You know?
Yeah,
So I'm really curious to see what Thursday and Friday have in store
it's a
for
new world, and you can't old school. If you think that's your old school, what you can't do that. You can't. This isn't Mad Men.
Yeah.
You can't just
This isn't Mad Men.
you can't do a belt of scotch and then grab someone.
I was just going to say, I wish it was, because I'd be half in the bag right now with a cigar, and it'd be great. Speaking of which,
half in the bag.
as Frank and I stumble over the same joke, JSabs is here, and that is a bronze cup, which I can only assume has some sort of a mule in it.
Actually, no. It is a margarita drink.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
That's my kind of drink.
We're just wrapping up Cuomo here, JSabs. You got any fine? And I never brought up the. We should have all seen this coming during COVID when we noticed he had pierced nipples. Okay, that's when we should have all
Telltale
known.
sign. Telltale sign.
Freaking the
We're not
sheets.
saying that everybody with pierced nipples is a
Molester.
No, yes, we are.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I am at least. I can't
You
speak
are?
for you guys.
You want my 2 cents on this?
Sure.
Okay, like I've said before, I'm not a fan of his. But I don't think what I've heard that he did was so wrong. This is also coming from someone who starts sexual harassment meetings, sexual harassment training meetings where she works.
There's one thing you may not have heard.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anthony told us about it before. So there was some staffer over his house. I'm not talking about the singing. I'm talking about the staffer who was over his house, some woman, and he kind of cornered her and like.
He slammed the door shut and then he put
Yeah.
his hand up her dress and grabbed her boob.
Right.
Again, this isn't Weinstein stuff, but this is.
That's bad. No.
All right, Janine.
What do you,
Janine made a good. She made the face. So let's explain. How would you like it if this happened to your daughter at the workplace? You would be livid.
or me.
Or you.
no, forget you. Your daughter.
It was hard. I was trying to be like show somebody else other than you. You know. Yeah,
I
like
mean-
you wouldn't love it. I just said if this
No,
happened to my
that's-
wife, I'd be over there with a fucking baseball bat. I
That
don't give a
is-
shit who it
That
is.
is a little too far if it's true. If it's true.
Right.
I feel like a lot of times these stories, somebody hears something and then they add like a fake story to it just so they can be part of this thing.
It's word against word for the
And
most part.
you do, see that's the hard thing, and that's the hard thing with sexual harassment too, because something that you construe as sexual harassment, I don't, and vice versa. Like for example,
Understandable. Go ahead.
and I said this before too. One of the things was in the training that I made my company do. But, well, I didn't make them because of my actions,
You indirectly made them.
right?
Go ahead, Michael
It-
Scott. Make your point.
It it was if you ask someone out more than once, it's considered sexual harassment, which I don't find that sexual harassment. I don't. Say me and Frank are friendly at work, and you know,
This is a lie.
I give him
Yeah, I don't work.
I flirt with him or I give him signs that maybe I want something more. He asks me out and I'm like, oh no, whatever. And then in a couple of months he tries again and I say no. And then a couple of months he tries again and I say no. Like these things happen. That's not sexual harassment, but under those guidelines, it is.
I agree, but those rules aren't put there for sane-minded individuals like yourself. They're put there for assholes who don't know how to behave in public.
See, if I were like George Clooney, then it would be fine. If I were an attractive guy,
Yeah.
that like
Oh,
one of these,
come here,
no,
ladies.
like
Comment.
Those rules are put there for human walking
For
boogers like
ugly
Weinstein.
people. Right, ugly
I
jerks.
I get it, but you know what? Oh yeah, him. That's a totally different story. But like,
Yeah, if he did
Cuomo-
that to you, if he asked you out every month or whatever, you see, there you go.
well,
That
he's
face
also
says it all.
disgusting looking. So
That face says it all.
By the way, I got something in my tooth and it's
It
annoying. the
bo-
shit
You
out
could
of
turn your camera off while you're picking. I don't think people want to see you
me. How
pick.
do
And
I
like-
turn my camera off?
This feels like harassment right now.
even like people say, or what I've read is that he's come too close to them, or made
Can't
them
get
eat an entire sausage in front of him.
Well,
Like,
okay,
the
wait.
entire sausage thing.
Let
I'm
me-
sorry, that's fucking genius.
Let me put this. Some woman was wearing a shirt. We talked about this a minute ago, and he said, "Oh, what does your shirt say?" And grabbed her chest, like groped her chest as he grabbed her shirt to see what it said. Now that, like I said, that's creepy because
Did he
you
touch
could
her
just
chest or did he just
say-
pull his shirt?
No, he touched
He
her
grabbed
chest.
her
Like the
boobs.
woman said, he touched him. He grabbed, like it was like a groping because he had to like pull the shirt to see what it said. It's like, if you really want to know what the shirt said, just say, "What does your shirt say?" You don't have
Right,
to
but you know
grab it
what?
yourself, you fucking creep ball.
And he could be creepy. Don't get me wrong.
Well, here's what I was saying, Janine. You tell
Go
me what
ahead.
you think about this. I think this is worse because I think he's doing all these things with plausible deniability built into it. Like, it was innocent. I just wanted to know what her shirt said, which to me makes it even worse because you fucking premeditated
Oh,
a
so,
way
like, you
out of
think,
all this
like-
already.
Mm.
All
Unless
of
he
it.
honestly thought that.
But
I was
that,
just
the
looking at his
touching of the
shirt.
face, he goes, "My mother," like he's like this guy.
But
is-
touching of the face, like that wouldn't bother me. That wouldn't. I'll be honest. That's not like, he's going under my shirt or under my skirt.
Right.
It's not. It's touching of the face is not harassment per se, but
Or like if he like goes close to someone and is like a close talker.
it's
Like
you guys. A lot of these complaints are that one woman is like, he hugged me for like a minute and a half. It was
Yeah.
like, it's over, guy. Like,
You lie down on top of me. And,
you passed like that's what's really like. Just because it ain't Weinstein, it is still fucking creepy.
do you remember, what was it, Family Feud?
I'd have to work with him. I'll be honest. I'd have to. Yeah, I knew you were gonna say.
Like this is.
You
this
knew
guy,
I was going to go to Family Feud?
Oh, I thought you said Family Guy.
This guy reminds me of the type that would fucking, go home and crank one out and tweak his little nipple rings over the fact that he hugged this woman for 3.5 minutes. Like, I think
Hey.
that's the kind of weirdo this guy's.
We all tweak
working
our
on.
nipple rings. Come on.
Go ahead, Frank. You were going to say, interrupted your
No,
point.
remember Family Feud? Richard Dawson? He used to kiss literally every woman,
Yeah.
That
like on the
video.
mouth. It's insane.
That video. Do you remember the one like little girl that he tried to kiss and she pulled away? And he tried like 2 more times until he
That wasn't
finally
Richard.
got her?
I don't think that was Richard Dawson.
I think
So-
it was.
It was someone else. There was
Maybe
an older.
somebody else? I don't know.
It was a different show, but I think I know what you're talking about.
I have to-
Richard Dawson was the short guy with the like gray hair.
I know what you mean.
I think you're talking about someone else, but I know what you mean. That was effed up.
So there was this girl who I used to be friends with. I mean, I'm still friends with her, but not as close. Her mother was a mouth kisser, meaning, say we were at a party or a birthday party or something, and her mother would come over and kiss everyone on the mouth, even the guys. Like, so that'd be like at my daughter's birthday party a few weeks ago, if my mother went up to you, Familetti, and kissed her right in the mouth.
Wait, you're a mom?
Yeah, kissed you right
That's
you right in the mouth.
Who has? I mean,
I told her
But
to
in
stop doing that.
But
years
in
ago,
her
Yeah.
mind, she thought it was okay.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's up to everybody to tell her, cut that shit the fuck out. Like, stop doing that.
who's gonna have that awkward conversation? With
I'll
her?
have it in 3 seconds.
He doesn't
You
even like
won't.
kissing people hello. Anyway, You.
Yeah, great.
Right.
You're gonna tell someone else's mom who you don't even know. Listen,
mean,
you got to stop kissing people
I have
on the
no
mouth.
problem being the Kramer in that situation.
I don't think
it's
Stop
just
that right now.
I don't know. So what was your premise of this of Cuomo's story right now?
I think that I think that he's done. Again, he's not Weinstein. I don't. It sounds like none of these things are the R word.
Right.
Great, but it sounds like for years this guy with his little fucking nippy rings has been going around doing all this creepy shit and like kind of forcing himself on people. And then here's the other part about it, which is not sexual in nature, but probably a little bit in his mind. He's intimidating everybody after the fact. Like we just talked about the fact that he tried to get, so some woman worked for him, then went on to work for de Blasio, who he harassed. And then when she said something he didn't like, he threatened to say some shit about de Blasio unless he got de Blasio to shut her up.
That's. But do you think that's more that or like him and De Blasio's war on each other?
No,
You
but
know?
he wanted her fired.
No.
He wanted her fired. Like that is.
Well, he wants.
And by the way,
fired based on that or based on like something else.
She was talking about the public health of people in the Bronx.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like she was like rallying, she was trying to be truthful about what was happening. And this asshole from on high is like, have her fired. That's not
a scandal by itself.
good
Firing
behavior.
someone for telling the truth on about something.
Yeah.
Forget, put aside a second the sexual harassment.
I get it. Like, again, the face stuff, like you said, I get it. But like I said before, you kind of have to know that shit's kind of over with. Like, that time is past. And
you mean like now?
Yeah, we've all, like I said, this is how I started the show. We've all touched and done this with each other and friends and family. People you work with.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that to a
people who
coworker.
work for you. You know what I mean?
But people start to feel comfortable with people that they work with because they see them every day, all day long. It's true. They do. It is. Like I'm not even
I don't
even making any excuse, but people do feel more comfortable with people that they work with and their family
Apparently
or friends
not.
sometimes.
I mean, it's the same thing with President Where Am I? He was the same way with the groping and the shoulder fucking rubs and all this shit.
Like
and it's like, guy, know where you are. Like, cut that shit the fuck out. Like, and I know that stuff was happening years ago, but people were uncomfortable with that shit years ago. Like, nobody's comfortable with that kind of shit.
To tell you the truth, I'd have to work with Cuomo to see. I couldn't make a fair assumption.
Did you send your resume?
Yes,
today?
please. I'd like to work full time again. Plus
Heard there's some
overtime.
job
Thank
openings.
you.
Send the resume out. to
Okay.
him.
I think I said Friday's the pressure point day. That if he can last through Friday, he might have a shot at fighting this long term.
I don't know.
But I don't know. What do you think?
I mean,
Frank gave him a month, which I thought was way too generous.
That is,
I'd eat an entire sausage in front of him just to get a job with him right now. By the way, I said that in front of my mother the other day in the supermarket, and it was and some guy going down the aisle when the allegations came out, and I was like on my phone, and I'm like, come on, Phyllis, like you've never eaten an entire sausage in front of your boss. Get out of here, okay?
What was her answer?
And she was like, Jenny, shut up. And the guy walking past
Was she
me-
allowed to cut up the sausage, or did she have to eat it whole?
No, she had to eat it whole. Come on.
So it's not good.
But like that's the kind of stuff where like I saw that video and it was weird and bizarre, and I
mean,
it was a signal of other behavior of his,
Okay.
but that in itself wasn't that bad.
No, I mean, like I used to eat. I used to do it as a joke, but I used to put a whole banana in my mouth sometimes because I used to sit right in front of my boss's office, and it was a glass window.
It's ridiculous. You are a walking HR nightmare.
But I'm a different story anyway, so you can't really put me in the category with these other people.
You got that right. That was a great way of describing it.
I'm
I'm
not
a different
gonna-
story.
I'm a different story, so
See, it all depends. Like if someone did that, to you, you'd brush it off. But then there are sensitive, probably rightly so, sensitive people that don't want to be involved in anything like that. But you're entitled to I don't know.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
thing.
bowing out
Like
of this
again, if Janine was like, "Oh, it didn't bother me," I'd be like, "Whatever." If my wife said, "Oh, this happened," and it didn't even bother me, I would have a baseball bat to that person's fucking head the next day.
What,
Yeah,
with
but
the
she's a
sausage
different
thing?
person than me too.
What?
She is
sausage
different
thing?
than me too. Oh, good.
Sorry, I did. That's my fault. That's
I
on
was.
me.
You said what to two
What'd
of
you say,
us?
Frank?
You talking about the sausage thing?
Anything, any of it.
What if
I
face?
don't love the sausage thing, but I don't. Again, there was a lot of people around. To me, it was a little bit of a power ego thing, but it
You would really
wasn't.
get mad at that, or feel uncomfortable with that?
Knowing me, if that was my wife, I would say I don't want you around that you cannot interact with that person anymore.
All right,
That's
if
it.
your wife works for Cuomo, she has to interact with him. That's her job. And Cuomo did the face kiss on the forehead, held her face and kissed
I would
her.
have I would have a very stern conversation with him.
Okay, see, that's the way to handle that. crap.
Why are you laughing at me? Is that what? Am I too much?
You said stern, like you're fucking 85 years old.
I would
Okay,
have a very
a
stern
very stern
conversation.
conversation.
Because I would try and be calm and let him know that's no longer going to happen. And if it does
I
happen,
wonder if
then we
anybody
have
ever has.
a really big problem.
You think anybody before
No.
all these allegations ever came up to him? And said,
I don't
"Listen,
know. You look at the montage of fucking creepiness we just watched, and he's grabbing everybody. Little
Oh, I missed
kids
that.
by the like to
Oh, he
do
touches people.
this to a little kid, like,
Oh, it's like a little cutie, you grab his chin or his cheek.
But then again, some like I said, some people are more touchy than others, and then you're like, oh, okay, well that's blah blah blah, because that's just how they are, and people make excuses that way too. It's true.
I mean, there was the old thing with politicians, shake hands, kiss babies. Mm-hmm. That's out. I think it's just shake hands now.
why you
Or
want a
hello.
politician to ever kiss your child is big.
No.
The people that hand babies over to
weird.
politicians.
Wonder when the last time that happened.
Trump. I don't know if anybody handed Biden a baby. He would think it was a football and try and spike it. That would be bad.
It'd be hilarious.
He'd get confused. He would get confused. But Trump definitely. People were handing Trump babies. They're probably
Yep.
still handing them babies. These
know how
fucking
many-
psychopaths.
How many, after he was done, how many babies' faces were orange after that?
A lot.
A lot of orange faces. A
orange
lot of
marks on
Dorito or Cheeto covered faces.
All right. Ghislaine story here. This is
good.
great.
Another positive
warden,
topic.
the warden at the jail where she's at, or also R. Kelly is at. Let's
It's a
Let's-
shitty jail.
give fair,
Creme de la creme.
let's give a fair props where it's R. Kelly's prison too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to upstage anybody here. She's been charged with murder because she shot her husband.
Real.
Yeah. So
Do we know why? How? What the hell happened?
Antonia Ashford, 44, Jackson, shot her 47-year-old husband, Roderick Ashford, with a handgun on Monday. He was pronounced dead at the scene. This happened at 2:15 a.m. I feel like we'd have less deaths if everybody just went to bed at 12:30.
Oh my! Again, you sound like an 85-year-old.
Yeah, and next time
Nothing good comes after 12:30 a.m.
It doesn't.
Yeah, and next time they put some kind of curfew, or you're like, oh, what does that matter? See, after the sun goes down, people get nuts.
Oh God!
I don't know why.
Now
I'm
you
not
both
saying-
sound. Now you both sound like. Oh, okay.
He's saying that.
I think Janine's not on my side here with this Cuomo thing, but I feel like if this were happening to a friend of yours, you would be fucking livid.
If the friend was negatively, was uncomfortable with all
Yeah,
of it,
if your friend came along, if your sister-in-law came along and was like, "Oh, this guy, rubbed his fingers against my boobs as he looked to see what was on my shirt," what would you say?
I'd be there next morning.
Yeah, thank you. You would be there the next morning with a baseball
Like I
bat.
said, the boob thing is. That's
No,
enough.
she'd be there the next morning with a resume.
Also with something across my chest.
Make sure it's all wrinkly and blurry.
With
Right?
a scrunched up shirt.
Have it printed blurry.
You're right.
That's pretty funny. All right, here, this weirds me out. This is crazy. A fourth police officer in the Capitol Police has committed
Committed.
suicide. How the fuck is that? Four police officers all associated with this same event?
Yeah, that's weird. That is, to me, that's something's up there. I'm sorry. That's just very
Hey,
coincidental.
That is
people-
way too like
Too much.
one. Okay, two. This is weird. Four. And by the way, nobody is talking about this.
I know.
Nobody
are.
is talking.
Well,
about
I've seen it in the
some
news.
things. I've seen some things.
You have.
that,
I mean,
yeah.
I have seen
Yeah,
again.
from my conspiracy theorist.
No, I've seen it in normal news.
Really? Because I'm on all over the news, and I have seen this very, very little. I really had to search for this one.
Plus, we're talking about it.
Well, that's of course true.
What?
I don't know.
That is true. Kyle DeFreytag, he died on July 10th, his mother confirmed. She also says he responded to the January 6th insurrection during his shift. DC police also confirmed that DeFreytag was found dead on July 10th. He was an MPD officer for 5 years, according to his obituary. He was 26 years old. Capitol Police Officer Howard Liebengood took his own life days after the incident, along with DC Police Officer Jeffrey Smith. DC Police confirmed Monday morning that the third officer who responded to the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol has died as a result of suicide. So this brings the grand total to 4.
That's a lot. I mean, I guess I don't know. It had to be a traumatizing event for them. I don't know. You don't know why anybody, unless they spell it out for you, you don't know why anybody does something like that. I mean, it had to be. Was it directly because of the event? Was it something else going on in their lives? It could be any.
Did they see
number
too
of
much
reasons.
and get Epsteined and McAfee'd?
Well,
Stop it.
that is the theory that they all knew something, which
There were
either that they
thousands of people there.
but
And how many
Frank, this
hundreds
is-
of cops?
This is weird, though. I mean, this is weird.
it's weird.
It's
4.
weird, but I know. It's a weird thing. It's a weird number.
I feel like the odds are in the gazillions, trillions to 1 that this would 4.
I don't know. I don't know what the odds are, but it's, I guess just a coincidence that these 4 people had stuff going on that they couldn't handle.
Right.
And this
Maybe.
part of
Here's the
it.
thing. I'm sure this happened post 9/11. I feel like I
Yeah,
remember
I'm
reading
sure
some of these things. That was a
Traumatic
horrific
events,
day.
man. There's PTSD.
PTSD.
That's not a game. That's
Yeah,
fucked up
I'm not
shit.
saying I'm not, but this wasn't people jumping out of windows to save their lives. This was bad.
It was bad, but people weren't. People aren't trained maybe for something like this. So maybe they would people throwing shit and breaking windows and people got shot. It was it probably was scary for them. I'm sure. Just because you're a police officer doesn't mean you're not afraid of shit.
No suspicions then whatsoever on your part.
I don't know.
By the way, and all the articles I'm seeing say just that. There's like nothing else.
Yeah, I know.
There's nobody digging into this or investigating this a bit more. This seems very bizarre.
Well, July 11th, and it's into August now. I mean, they probably investigated and they found out it was a legit suicide. I don't know. I mean,
Well,
why
the
would-
other one just happened, right?
July 11th was the last one, right?
Yeah, no, it was 11th. They just came out. It just was confirmed.
Oh, yeah.
The third one, I think, was confirmed a few days ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this happened. The incident was 8 months ago, and people. I'm sure that they don't get the help they need after something like that, and they can't handle it. Plus, the fact that it's such a divisive
Yeah.
and politicized event that happened, and now it's a subject. You were involved in this. Maybe, they were seeing stuff every day that haunted them about it. Who the hell knows? You see stuff in the news all the time about January 6th, and you never know. It's just some people have a hard
don't know.
time handling stuff like that. PTSD is no joke.
Do you know anyone who killed themselves or no?
I know a lot of people who wish they killed themselves that were around Frank, but nobody who actually did it.
Right.
I feel like his brother came close a couple times.
Yeah, right.
It's cute.
His mom.
No.
His dog. I believe his dog Bridie. They said that Bridie was sick, but I just don't think that dog could take it anymore.
Too soon. Man.
The vet
Too
was
soon.
like, I don't want to tell you this, but
I found a note from Bridie, but I
Did
don't
you?
want to. Yeah, I don't want to make a big deal out of it.
That's good.
Could have been a tweet. I don't know. That could have been a tweet.
Okay, she did have an account.
Obama has canceled his 40th birthday party.
Right.
60th.
60th.
60th?
Yeah, he's not 40.
That's even worse. I thought he was 40.
He's definitely not 40.
What did I say,
Oh my
40?
God.
You said 40.
Well,
You
let's
said it in
find
the
out if he
beginning, too.
canceled his 40th birthday party or if he actually had one before we go jumping down my throat. This is it's funny because the story is cancel 60th birthday bash, but as it turns out, he's really just scaling
Doing it
down.
outside.
Doing it outside and just doing close family and friends, which I'm sure is Eddie fucking Vedder, because who's going to cancel that performance?
You got to have Eddie Vedder there.
I don't give a shit what's going on in the world. If Eddie Vedder agrees to perform at
Do
my
it.
birthday party, we're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
What's wrong with you?
He's not getting cut from the list. Can I just say, and I know, like, I get it. The Democrats all worry and they shit on Trump for the things. And now this was Republicans' chance to get back and be like, look at him. It's not a great optic. And I don't think it's a great optic. But, I don't think we should be canceling fucking things, especially outdoorsy things at
Nope.
huge parties with all this kind of shit. Again, like, I
Well,
understand.
as it gets worse and worse every day, then as you get closer, maybe last week, if the party happened last week, it might not have been or 2 weeks
I don't
ago.
think there's any reason to cancel anything anymore. Like, enough already. Like, who are we protecting?
What?
Who are you protecting? If the people that are there that want to be vaccinated are vaccinated, great. The people that aren't. So if we're gonna lose somebody, it's their own fault.
Again with this, I can't with you. It's their own fault. Let them die. It's a big deal.
I
You're an
wouldn't,
idiot.
I wouldn't cancel the party.
Is that going into the next topic, which is de Blasio? I don't know if you have him on your list.
No, why? What did De Blasio? No, I don't have De
Oh,
Blasio.
just yesterday, and his whole new rules system.
What's the new rules?
Oh, that you have to prove that you're vaccinated to go
Yeah.
into places. To go into, as of I think the 16th of August, it goes into, or 14th or 16th.
Indoor dining, gyms.
Indoor dining, gyms, and entertainment. You have
In
to
New York
prove-
City,
In New York City
You
only.
have to prove you're vaccinated.
you have to prove you're vaccinated.
I see a lot of problems with this, but
I don't. I got proof right here. It's right here, baby.
your phone dies.
I'll charge it.
There's no internet.
I have a screenshot of the thing. That's all you need. Yep.
Is that right? That's all you need is a screenshot?
Yeah. You enter the information. I think it's I forget the site, but it's something.ny.
How many?
CPass or ePass or some shit like that. I think it's CPass.
I thought it was Excelsior Pass.
So it's epass.ny. And you just enter the date that you got your second dose or whatever you got your last dose, and your name and your birthday, and it shows like a barcode thing or one of those scannable code things, and it says three options. It says print it out, email it to yourself, or take a screenshot, and you could just show the screenshot. So if they're checking, they just scan the thing. And that's it.
What if
Done.
their thing doesn't work?
Well, then they got to get a new thing. It's not my fault.
Logistically, I
gotta
just see
show
a
it.
problem.
That you got to show.
Or you
That's
could
it.
show them your fake vaccine card too.
Oh, that's nice.
This is you got to. Yeah, I don't know if I could. Can I show my pass on the thing? But
What's
here
the over under on lawsuits for this thing?
A lot.
There's going to be a
pass
lot,
it
right?
is.
Yeah.
It's right here.
I find it
This is
completely
my. This is
ridiculous.
My thing. This is my thing.
Nah,
Go
that's
ahead.
what she said.
No, I showed it. It's just. I think it's going to be fine. I mean, you have as long as you're vaccinated, you got nothing to worry about.
I honestly don't know. I don't know who. I don't know who's going to win this. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know.
I don't understand the arguments. I don't get it.
Wait, you agree with it?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, he's vaccinated. Why wouldn't he agree with it? Why are you surprised? He's on his side. You're on your side.
That's
Where's
true.
the surprise here?
I don't understand the fight. I don't get it. Unless you're have an underlying medical issue, in which case, go get treated. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. I don't understand if you can get vaccinated, why wouldn't you? I don't get it. They know better than me that it's working and it's safe. They do. I don't know. I don't know how to do scientific, analysis on vaccines. They do. They know what it is. They've been researching this for years. They come out with an answer for everybody's question. When are we getting back to normal? Take this vaccine. We'll get back to normal. And half the country goes, nah. It's like, well, then what do you want from me? We gave you the answer. It's like, what were you asking for then? When we were in the middle of, let's say it was June of last year, when we were there in the middle of everything, and everybody was like, we need a way out of this. The CDC went, here you go. Here's the vaccine. And then everybody was like, no, not that way. So what were we waiting for? What was the answer? A cure? Because that's very far-fetched. A vaccine was the thing that we needed. And they gave it to us, and everybody's like, half the people were like, nah, I don't understand what you wanted then.
I just think it's ridiculous to say if you want to eat inside a restaurant, you have to show me your vaccine card. I don't agree with
I think
that
it's
at all.
ridiculous. I get that you don't like it, but I don't think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, when you go
It's
into a bar,
ridiculous.
you have to prove your age.
Okay.
No? When you go to a bar, if you get carded, is that ridiculous?
I mean, that's a law that was put in place.
All
how
right,
many
so if they made
years
this a
ago?
year, who cares how many years ago? If they put a law into place
But
that
it's
says
not-
you have to be vaccinated, that's the law.
But they can't mandate a vaccine, according to Cuomo. That's what he said last
No,
year.
you can't. It's your choice not to be vaccinated. It's also the choice of the restaurants to be like, nope, I don't want any unvaccinated people in here.
No, it's not their choice. They have to follow his rules.
Okay, so then it's his choice.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a weird thing. If it's a business doing it, I don't know if you have. It's weird. I don't know if you have much ground because this goes back to remember when like the weird cake places in the middle of the country didn't want to serve gay people. You know what I mean?
Right.
They won that, by the way, which is ridiculous.
The gay people or the businesses?
The business.
Yeah, and I think everybody would agree that's like a certain form of discrimination, but it's a private business, so I don't think that the law could tell them.
Well, this is discrimination as well. And actually, I was going to compare the same thing because it is.
Right,
If
but it's
you-
not. But like I said before, it's not based off of sex, race, religion. It's not based off of any of those things. So it's hard. There's a definition for discrimination.
But what if you don't get the vaccine because of your religion? Then
Yeah,
that's
well,
a different story.
Well, yeah, that's what we said. Like people are just going to start to claim religious reasons
Right.
for it, which then brings a whole new level. That's what I'm saying. There's going to be a trillion lawsuits about this. It's just
Can't
Well,
just
I'm just
fucking
saying-
get vaccinated. I can't.
All right.
I
then,
can't
you know
anymore.
what, Frank, just have kids because that's the same argument.
That is not the
tell
same
you-
argument.
People tell you
That is
people-
nowhere near the
Okay,
same
okay.
argument.
Do you like when people tell you that?
Nobody
You
tells me
hear this.
that.
Okay, sure.
Can
they
I
don't.
say
Who
something?
tells me that?
Can I say
People have-
something? I gave
What did I
Frank
just
the
get?
kid
I'm
guilt trip a couple of Christmases ago, maybe 3-4 Christmases
I don't give
ago.
a shit.
I still feel bad about it. My wife kind of told me, she said
I
to
remember
me,
that.
It's
you remember it.
annoying to hear because it's your personal choice whether or not you have kids or not.
That's a different thing. Yeah, it's my choice. It
It's
only
a
affects me
choice.
and my family. But
just wanna
this is not
apologize. I still feel bad
something.
about it.
Well,
This
you know,
is not
people fight
something that
about-
affects just you. This
They don't
isn't
really
about.
care, but I feel
So
like
then we
isn't-
talk about abortion too, because that's another thing that just doesn't affect you. It affects other people as well.
What does that have to do with abortion? This has nothing
I'm
to
just
do
saying.
with
No,
abortion.
I'm just saying this is like another thing that like
That's a different topic.
you
This
can't
is.
you can't just tell someone get the shot because if they
No, you have every right not to.
but you can't tell people get the shot just like I can't tell you have kids, don't get an abortion, don't do this. It's like I think it's a very personal
can.
choice.
You can say whatever you want. You
Yeah,
can tell
but-
people to do it. Nobody has to listen. I could
Right.
say it, and nobody has to listen to me. I just think it would. My opinion. This is just my opinion. My opinion is we would be way ahead of the game if instead of 50 whatever percent of the people got vaccinated, if 100% of people got vaccinated. Once that happens, we're way ahead of it, and we could get back to normal eventually.
So that's what you want people to get the shot for, just to get back to normal.
To get rid of the virus.
But you don't The
to
virus
stop
is
people from dying. There's a state, I forget which state, I think it was Arizona.
it's to
No,
get back to
Louisiana.
normal. It's to get back to normal, right?
Louisiana has the highest that it's ever had, highest amount of COVID deaths that it's ever had today. We're not going back. We're going backwards now because people are refusing.
Because the vaccinated are giving to other people. That's why too. It's true.
There's a little truth to that.
It is true.
Vaccinated.
Yes.
If the vaccine, no, not they're not. But the vaccinated people aren't the ones dying from it.
Correct.
Then you know what? I'm sorry to say
97%.
you shouldn't care. You shouldn't care.
That's a bad way to. I shouldn't care about half the country.
No, because you know what, Frank? They don't care about you. I'm sorry
That's
to tell
fine.
you that.
Well, I want to be a
would
good
say I
person.
don't-
I want to be a
You know
good
what it
guy.
is? You're just too good of a guy.
I would say I don't care about 95% of that's probably a little high too. There's a lot of the country I don't really care
That's
about.
a little that's a little callous to be like fuck half the country.
Delaware.
I don't
Hampshire.
want at the end of this for half the country to be gone.
Look, I don't want people to die either, but it's inevitable that people are going to die. And
So it doesn't matter how. I got it.
well,
There are young people that are dying from a disease that's preventable. That's all I'm saying. We could stop this. There's so many other things that are causing people to die. Why add another one that is so preventable?
okay.
Did you hear that now in South Korea they've discovered the Delta variant plus,
Yeah.
which I believe is $8.99 a month and comes with
Free delivery.
The thing is, I just
Frozen.
think that there's too many.
Delta Plus. They call it Delta Plus. They literally named it after a streaming service. So now all the streaming services have to change their shit around.
I don't know. I
Delta Plus, it comes with extra legroom. By the way, I have to credit one of our local what?
He's uncomfortable with the subject.
he is.
I'm not uncomfortable with it, but I understand you are both making points that the people are going to agree with. I don't see an end to it for tonight. So,
That just to me it doesn't make any sense.
and plus
That's
also
all.
I like to inject a couple of jokes in here or there.
Fine.
But you can keep going. I'll give it back to you guys. But I have to point this out because if I don't do it now, I will forget about it. And I have to credit one of our local journalists. Her name is Vera Chinese. Great name.
Oh God.
That's a great
fake.
name. That's fake. It very well may be. I don't know. But she tweeted this the other day, and it was, what an unfortunate time for this business. Can you read what the business name is?
Delta Transmissions.
That's a real business here on the
Well,
island.
look at Delta Airlines, and it's
Right, but I mean,
Delta
there's something
Burke.
different
I don't know.
about Delta transmissions because you
Yeah,
can
that's
transmit
true.
the virus.
That's true. That's hilarious.
Let me ask you a question. Do you this is for both of you. Do you wonder, like at first it was people were against lockdowns, then people were against wearing masks. Now people are against vaccines. It seems like no matter what it is, there's a vast majority of people that are just against whatever the issue of the day is.
Yep.
And, it's interesting. Besides, I was talking to another friend of mine who I am incredibly fond of, and he was expressing the same doubts that Janine expresses. And he basically said, I just don't trust anything anymore. And I thought there must be a ton of people in this same situation who are just gotten to a point in life, no matter what it is, media, politics, whatever it is, they just are like, I just can't trust any of this anymore. And I feel like that's a pretty sad state of affairs.
I mean, then if you can't trust anything, how do you live your life? How do you go about your day? You don't trust anything. You gotta have some kind of basis that you can grow off of. Like, all right, I trust the very basic facts of life, and then I trust the next level.
But I
and
think
then I could trust the next level.
I think as the internet increases in its maturity, we come to realize, like, wait a second, all these things that we've held to be truths, school, news, right? All this kind of stuff, there's a little bit of an agenda behind all of it. You know,
behind everything, there's cause and effect for everything. You have a need that something has to fill it. You You have an action. It's going to cause a reaction. That's everything. There's an agenda for me hanging curtains because I don't want the sun in my house. There's an agenda for everything. That's all I'm saying. I mean, if you can't trust, you got to be able to, like, the earth is round.
Well,
You have to be able to trust that to move forward in science.
There's substantial evidence behind that. That's pretty undisputable. I know there are some people that are still not going to go for that, but
which they're just going to be left behind.
I understand. I mean, not that I understand, but I feel, again, like there's a bigger part of all of this, that it's not just about vaccines. It's not just about masks. It's not just about politics. There's this underlying thing happening, and I can't quite put my finger on what it is.
There's a lot of mistrust in the government. I get that, but
a lot of mistrust in everything. Government,
sure.
Doctors,
Yeah, but
you look at doctors. Now, Frank, how I think it'd be great if everybody got vaccinated. Look at doctors.
Okay.
Doctors, you look at the opioid thing that was going on, and these doctors were just fucking writing scripts for this.
Yeah,
stuff.
there's corrupt people everywhere and everything.
That's horrible.
It is horrible. It's true.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand. But, the people that put together this vaccine, is there a chance that one of them could be psychotic? I don't know, I guess. But it's not like it's one person sitting there going, I'm going to make this vaccine and it's going to be stupid and everybody's going to take it and die. No, there's a team, there's research, there's years of research into this. And it's not like they just, went like this to 2 beakers and said, vaccine. They kind of know what they're doing. They've done this. They did this back when smallpox was a thing. They came out with a vaccine. People were skeptical, but then they took it and they were able to wipe it out. Same thing with measles. You take the vaccine, it doesn't hit you as hard, blah, blah, blah. Is COVID-19 going to go away completely? Probably not. But if you're vaccinated against it, it'll help you. That's all. I mean, how do I know better than the scientists who made it? I'm not going to be able to say, I don't think this vaccine's going to work. Or I think this is going to kill me.
They don't even know how long it lasts for. That's the whole thing, too. They don't.
Okay.
It can help you not get put in the hospital if you get it, and I get that. Mm-hmm. But they don't know the long-lasting effects from it or how long you're actually protected from it for. And, like, that's the 2 main things that they can't answer.
They flat out don't. Like, everybody was talking about boosters, and then the last thing I read, they were like, "There's no plan for boosters," which I find hard to believe.
What if you get the vaccine, like the flu shot? What if you get it next year and then there's a different strain that comes out for it? That's why I said I'm not saying they're exactly the same, but there's people do compare it because there's different strains.
The flu shot protects against 4 strains. That's it. Those are the 4 main ones.
Yeah, see, now here's what I wonder is the lack of. So I think Fauci said this today, and again, I'm not saying Fauci's full of shit, but I don't like. Do we really? Is the lack of amount of people who are getting vaccinated contributing to the development of other variants? I don't know if we know the answer to that yet.
So I read that no matter what, a virus can mutate, no matter if there is a vaccine or not.
Yeah.
So, like chickenpox, not everybody gets it the same, or they used to get it the same. You know what I mean? Like, I remember my brother got like 5 on his whole body, and I had like 5 on one finger because the rest of my body was covered in them. So everybody's going to react differently too. Like, there is different strains of that too. So it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not. There is different strains.
There was a report that was just put out, an investigative report on the origins of the virus and where it's coming from. I held it off of this show because there's just so much Cuomo stuff. But we'll get to it next show. It's really interesting reading some of these things again. And we've been talking about it's just got to kind of let it come out, got to let investigations happen and getting down to the bottom of it. But it's really interesting, and we'll do that on an upcoming show. I did want to get to 2 quick things.
Sorry.
On this though, Governor Asa Hutchinson, did you see this in Arkansas? So this dickhead, in the height of the right-left fight, passed a law basically banning he made a mask mandate illegal. Now that the state's numbers are going up, they're trying to put things back into place, and he can't do it because of his own fucking law.
I can't stand it.
And so they asked him in a press conference today, like they asked him about it, and he admitted. I'll play you the audio. It's not that long, but he basically he said, in hindsight, I wish that had not become law, is kind of what he said, and I found that to be one of the fun. And I have another funny moment of politics too. Here's the guy asking the question.
Well, I signed it at the time because our cases were at a very low point. I knew that it would be overridden by the legislature if I didn't sign it, and I was not supportive of, I'd already eliminated our statewide mask mandate. And so, I signed it for those reasons, that our cases were at a low point. Everything has changed now. And yes, in hindsight, I wish that had not become law, but it is the law, and the chance that we have is either to amend it or for the courts to say that it has.
Think about the long-term effects of that.
So he's saying they have to go back and amend it now, or the courts have to prove that it's unconstitutional. Like,
Oh God.
asshole! All you had to do was take the mask mandates away. Like, that was enough.
That was the end of it.
Why'd you have to go passing a law? Like, you didn't think that this was a possibility over the next couple of months that you may have to bring the little mask thing back? Not that I really want that to happen. But that, and I also found this, again, just to show you the absurdity of these two asshole fuckface parties that we have. Mitch McConnell was walking to the... I should put this on the big screen, but I'm not. You can see that Mitch McConnell's walking to the podium where Congress addresses the media, and watch dickhead Chuck Schumer cut him off to get to the podium first. And they laughed and high-fived over it because they're asshole fucking WWE participants in this world that we're supposed to believe that either side is great.
It's kind of funny, though. Fuck Mitch McConnell.
They both look like turtles. Like Mitch McConnell looks like a slow-ass turtle, but so does Schumer.
He looks like one of those birds, like not a vulture, but something like that.
We haven't seen Gene Hackman in forever. We're told this is
There
a
he
2-year-old picture, but look at Gene Hackman.
Yeah, 91. He retired, 15, 16 years ago from acting?
Yeah, I
Damn.
miss Gene Hackman. It's weird with actors because you see their movies and they're forever kind of burned in your brain a certain way.
And then you see him,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
91,
you're
I
like,
think he
ooh,
is.
that doesn't look like him.
Yeah,
91
91 though. Supposedly he's living in New Mexico, goes bike riding every day, remains active. He's got hobbies and friends and everything else. So good
Good
for
for him. He has some great movies, man.
the guy who got duct taped to the seat.
That's amazing.
Come on.
Fuck this guy.
Greatest video ever on the internet this year so far.
It's amazing.
I mean, when I saw it, I was like, oh.
Guy was drunk and yelling, and he punched the guy, and he was feeling up the stewardess, and he was a mess. This guy had to be subdued. They should have tranquilizer guns.
Yeah,
for this kind of thing.
supposedly he
Well, he
Yeah,
was definitely drunk.
he was drunk, being a total asshole, groping the, like you just said. And now, what was the thing that you shared before, Janine, that they suspended the crew, the flight crew that taped him up to the seat?
Because they didn't follow proper protocol. But then they reversed their decision, I believe, because people were going crazy. I mean,
What's the proper protocol?
what do you do at this point?
Right.
You can't really. I mean, you could obviously tell he was drunk. So when you're trying to reason with a drunk person, like it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And when you're on a plane, that's even like, to me, that's scary. That is very scary.
Yeah.
So you know what? You fucking duct tape them. Sorry.
That's it.
These people should be given medals. They should be praised,
Agreed.
Right.
you know?
People are nervous enough on a plane already. You need some guy fucking flipping out. No.
Yeah.
Duct tape his ass to the chair.
I think this is all, I think a lot of this too is pandemic related because in that piece, they were saying that there's been more of these things in
There's
the
like
last.
3,600 of them in the past year.
Yeah, that's a crazy amount of disturbances.
That's too many.
Because, like you said, flying is already a stressful thing. You got to have your ID, the ticket, take your shoes off, your belt off, you're rushing. All this crap is going on. Now you're wearing a mask on top of it and all this other shit. And I think people are just like, they're having a hard time with it.
That's too many. I mean, what is that? That's like 20 incidents like that a day.
Like 5 have happened since we started this topic.
Yeah,
Well,
Basically.
ridiculous.
I was on a flight once, and the couple behind me was, I don't know what they were arguing about with the flight attendant. And I actually was like, oh God, what's going to happen? And I don't get like that. But just because it was on a plane, it made me like more nervous than it should have. And we didn't even take off yet. We were about to take off and they started fighting.
Okay. Is it because you have this irrational fear that somebody is going to quickly move towards the door and just fucking open it up?
Yeah.
Really, and
My fear is that it's going to turn into Con Air, and we're just going to start. You're going to have to be, or like Air Force
God.
One, and you got to be like, get off my plane, and you got to turn into the hero, and you got to throw people off the plane. It's going to turn into that. Once
No,
someone
I
yells,
just I don't know. It's uncomfortable too.
we're all nervous on planes. Everybody just relax and sit back and don't be a jerk.
Are you nervous on planes? Like you're scared like to fly or no?
No, not at all. I'm not
Frank.
scared to fly. I'm not scared of. No, it's not nerves.
Frank.
It's motion sickness I get.
Okay.
I don't get nervous. I don't.
Oh, is that it?
I get motion sickness if I eat before or during. It's gotten better. The last few plane rides I've taken, I've been able to eat on a plane, but usually I'm not able to really eat on a plane because all of a sudden turbulence will kick in and I get all grossed out.
I was photographing Frank throwing up on a plane once, and everybody was judging me like I was the
Oh
asshole.
yeah, I do remember this.
That's unfair.
Where are those pictures?
Oh, I got him, my friend. I got him. Wait for the 500th episode. We have a lot of pictures coming out.
God.
It's coming up soon, right?
A lot of pictures coming out, my man. Louis C.K. is coming back. He announced a nationwide tour today.
Oh, is he playing near us at all?
Is he what?
Playing near us at all?
The city.
Okay, when?
Might as well be playing Albuquerque. I am not going into this. You got to play a Long Island fucking club if you want me to
Come
come.
to Governors.
He's kicking it off in Manhattan, Hulu Theater, August 13th and 14th. That's the theater at Madison Square Garden.
Is this the jerk off tour?
But you probably have to be vaccinated. So maybe I'll just pull out my card.
You might have to be. Well, he said that. What'd you say? Pull out my. I would die. I would fucking die laughing if you've been vaccinated this whole time. That would be the funniest bit. That would be Andy Kaufman-esque.
You don't know if I said like. You don't know if I mean like the one I bought for $40 or.
I don't know. It still would be hilarious to
You
me.
know, they give them out free for a shot.
Yeah, but August 13th, 14th, he said that they're gonna follow local guidance everywhere. He said, I actually thought he put this quite eloquently. He said we're gonna follow whatever the rules are wherever they are. Do the best we can under the circumstances, which I think is kind of how everybody's got to operate.
That's the way you got to do it.
The next year and a half, you know.
Yeah, unless you're
but-
Eric Clapton.
Can we forgive Louis at this point? I feel like we're
Yes.
at
He's
the point of
he's
forgiveness.
He's gonna make fun of it too.
I'm
Right?
sure he will.
He
Has
probably-
his victims forgiven him?
I don't think any of his. I don't think. There's like 5 of them, and I don't think most of them gave a shit. To be honest,
Then
with
we
you.
should be fine.
Is he gonna come out like this?
That'd
There's
be
one for
great.
you. There's one for you.
See, the first thing I would say is like, this front row here, you guys are in the splash zone, so
Right.
I'd,
Like Gallagher.
Yeah, maybe bring those plastic sheets.
Gallagher played a venue out here that I'm friends with, and
I love Gallagher.
do you know how long? Like they had to put plastic up everywhere because this is old ass. Like it's a historic landmark,
clean?
the theater.
Ew.
They had to put. It took them days.
I'm
to put
sure
up shit.
nobody. There's got to be every venue's got to hate when he comes.
Yeah.
I
tell you,
saw him live. He was good.
I was I was impressed because they rewrote his apology here. I was impressed with his apology. When,
Yeah,
how
and he came out ahead of it too.
Yeah.
Nobody had any idea.
took responsibility, and he said He goes, he thought it was okay because he asked all the women before he did it. But he goes, I recognize that I'm in a position of power over them and it's uncomfortable for them. I thought that was very, like,
Yeah.
mature.
Yeah, I think once the victims said, yeah, that's fine, no problem, we should all be like, yeah, all right, let's move on now. You know, that's it. Let it go.
Do you want to know who the next host of Jeopardy is going to be?
Unless it's us, then. Is it LeVar Burton?
Nope.
Is it Mayim Bialik?
You were really rooting for her, weren't you?
She's good. Who else is it?
Blossom did not get it. I think the person who got it deserved to get it.
Okay.
And it's going to be a disappointment to a lot of people. Mike
Katie
Richards.
Oh.
Michael Richards?
Mike Richards. He was the executive
Kramer?
producer. No, do you remember the exec producer who stepped in, like, to bridge the gap between all the big celebrity names?
That's
And
I
everybody
hate
was
that.
like, that guy was really good. Like, he was really good. He's the one who's going to get it.
I hate that because you know when there's like a contest, like a while ago, this was maybe 30, I don't know, not 30, like 20 years ago when I was in college, they had a contest on the Howard Stern show for be the next co-host on the Howard Stern show. And send in a tape of or why you should be or a parody or whatever you wanted. I participated, I sent in my thing, and of course they picked someone who already worked on the show. And it's like, come on, you can't have a contest, or you can't be like, we're gonna choose the next person. You know what? We're just gonna hire someone we know.
That's it.
Isn't that kind of BS?
One time, lost JSabs.
I thought when you said Mike Richards, I thought it was Kramer.
No, that's Michael
That would
Richards.
have been hilarious.
One time in my college days when I was a sports management major,
Yep.
there was a local baseball team in Jersey, and it was come out to be the stadium announcer, and I was like, awesome. So I go, it was kind of like a goof, but I was like, if I get this will be kind of fun to do. So I go there. There's like 17 people that show up. Like 3 of them were this one guy went right before me, and I was like, fuck, there's no reason for me to go. Like, I can't. This guy was great. He had deep voice. He had a stadium voice. He didn't even need the microphone. He just sounded like a stadium voice guy. Nobody got it.
Of course not.
They gave it to they had somebody, but then they were like, here's a couple free tickets to the game, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking see this shit. I was like, just trying to pad my resume here, guy.
Right.
But that's all it was. It was a stupid promotion just to get fucking 17 people 2 tickets apiece.
Right.
It was such bullshit.
Ugh, annoying.
Yeah, very, very annoying.
I don't like when they do that.
Neither
And if you want to have people not tune into Jeopardy, you pick somebody nobody's heard of. I mean,
Right.
Well,
I
no,
get it.
actually,
He was probably good, but he's not a name.
he's not a name. But you know what? I think that's actually the way to go, because Alex Trebek was not much of it. Like, this guy's got the same kind of pedigree. Like, he does this. He's hosted a couple other things on other shit. He's the executive producer for a bunch of years. He's the guy. You put some big names in, and they're not gonna fucking last and will want to really do it.
Right.
Final topic, unless you guys have something else. JSab's birthday. How was your birthday, young lady? Did you have a good birthday?
Started with a funeral, killer bees, and cicadas.
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 That's not ideal.
That doesn't sound like fun. You had a funeral?
Yeah. My husband's aunt's husband. Well, we only went for the cemetery part because the church was in Queens, and yeah, we were not doing that. So 10 minutes
Sorry to hear
away.
that.
It's all right. I mean, we hadn't seen the guy in I don't even know how long, 10 years maybe. But while we were there outside of the cemetery, there was these crazy bees and wasps and cicadas. I'm not kidding you, just circling where we were. And I was like, yeah.
That's fun.
I screamed during it because it came near, it flew in my face. And I was like, no, because I can't do bugs anyway.
Bugs are creep, especially cicadas. They
Yeah.
cling onto you, and then they're like They got these little claws that kind of grab into you, and you try to hit them off, get them off you one shot, doesn't work.
And then there was traffic going home from. I had to pick up something from my friend's house, so that was fun. And then at night, I did get to eat some Mexican food. I decided just to spend it because I'm a nice person with my parents, my brother, my sister-in-law, the kids. But I definitely need a drink because now we can't take out drinks either.
Did you get hammered shit? We can't take out drinks anymore from restaurants? They stopped that? They should have never stopped that.
Yeah,
Stopped it in June.
That's some bullshit.
That's not
It
cool.
is. Then maybe they'll start it up again. Thank
Feels
you,
like it,
Delta.
doesn't it? JSabs, a lot of people showered a lot of love on you.
Yes.
I
A
did
lot
see
of-
some.
A lot of happy birthday messages.
A lot of happy birthday messages. By the way, a lot of people were with me on the cigar thing, Frank, and they very against you. But nobody was with me on Melinda Gates not keeping her name.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, she's doing it for the kids. I'm like, I don't think people are understanding the gravity of her husband was a fucking Epstein friend. Like, you gotta, if I was the kids, I'd be changing my fucking name.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we have to credit Brian, who literally wrote a gigantic poem to you, Ginny.
Did you read
That's
the poem?
incredibly kind. Yeah,
I
you
was,
saw the poem.
I was
thought,
embarrassed.
I thought you acknowledged it. Didn't you?
Yes, I did.
acknowledge-
I embarrassed. I was embarrassed though.
I was embarrassed too, because I feel like if you're gonna write a poem for somebody, write one of the good hosts on the show, not Janine. That's just
Right.
fucking crazy.
Wasting your.
So if you want,
Yeah.
it's a long poem too. If you want to see it, it's in the comments on the previous.
I mean, he even asks to see more of you on the show, Janine. This is absurd. Like, we can't. That's crazy. Remember when everybody used to hate you and call you homely and shit like that?
Homely.
I miss those
God,
times.
if they
Those
only
were good
knew.
times. That was my favorite JSabs, when you used to get shit on every episode.
Homely. Don't worry, I'll get shit on for this one before.
No, I got to tell you, we have to give Brian kudos. This is a long time.
This guy put some thought into this.
This guy wrote this thing.
This was good.
It
Yeah.
should be published.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of the YouTube world now.
Can I read I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Okay.
But this was my favorite line about JSabs. You're quick with your wit, uninhibited, wild, and free. You like to piss in glass bathrooms for all the world to see. Now that's beautiful.
That's a good call. That's a
there's
good
nothing-
reference.
There's nothing untrue about any of that.
That is a good reference and a wonderful rhyme.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like we might
was
hire Brian, because
I know.
that's
And what about the long pumps? That made me laugh too.
today's your birthday. On that, we can all agree. If I was there, I'd bring you to Dunkin' Donuts with 10 long pumps in your coffee.
Wow. That's like Shakespeare.
I've never seen you blush, not even a little shade of red, but I'm always listening for that famous line. That's what she said.
I mean, that's really good too. Like, honestly, I'm about to leave my husband for this guy. Brian,
This
I'd
guy's
love to
good.
know, Brian, please post a picture of yourself. I know you can't post a picture on YouTube.
Please
Wow.
start sending me cryptic messages, Brian. So
You can
Please.
email him to
How
Anthony.
old, how old are you, Brian? And where do you live? And how much do you make a year?
keep me out of this. I have an affinity for Janine's husband, so I don't want to
That's
see
true. He is a
anything
nice
bad come about for him.
Yeah, guy's a good guy.
A nice guy who also didn't get the vaccine. Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm not. I don't dislike
See-
you guys.
you
That's what you think, don't you?
were you stabbing yourself with a screwdriver in your legs? You said that. I don't like. It's not like I don't like you guys. No, but it's the thing is, you wouldn't not hang out with us because we don't have it.
No, I hung out with you. We went to the.
No, I'm saying
I went to your house.
You wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say I'm not hanging out with anyone unvaccinated and then maybe go to a concert at City Field. I mean, I get that, right?
She's describing another friend of hers, Frank.
Yeah, no, I
is this
wouldn't-
lost
I
on
Oh
you?
no, that was just completely like
that was
general in general.
It was a generalization.
Right, exactly. At City Field, one of the biggest venues. Okay, good.
I think this is, and I've seen more articles. We've actually, since we brought this up, I think this is tearing friendships apart. Oh, Jennifer Aniston. That was in
Yes.
our little group chat before.
And actually, I commented on it on Facebook, and I got like over 100 likes for what I wrote. I didn't even
What'd
write
you
anything.
write?
I was being
I
stupid.
hope
and
if you stole a line from Brian's poem, you credited him. Or
No,
was it
I
something-
wish.
Okay.
All I said was, I'm not sure that they want to hang out with her after hearing like what she's writing, what she's saying either. Like joking around, but not really.
What
I
is
mean,
she saying?
like she said she's not seeing her people weekly who are not vaccinated.
Yeah, the line I read was she said that everybody has an obligation to say whether you're vaccinated or not. In
Oh,
a
she said that? I
professional
didn't
setting.
I
That's
didn't
what
see
I
that.
read. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I saw. I don't know.
Okay. Could be. But
She's hot as fuck, though. I listen to whatever she says. To be honest with you, I mean,
that's a decent point.
I'm powerless when it comes to her. She's just gorgeous.
She is.
I mean, completely. Like, it's ridiculous. She also has that
Still
post.
is.
But why hasn't she been able to stay married? This is why I've been unable to commit to her. I've
That's why you don't. That's why
yeah.
you're not
And you
with
know
her
what? She's
at
been
this
with
point.
some hot guys. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but
Okay.
she can't.
Can't lock it down.
Yeah.
Well, after that statement, we know why. Because she's crazy.
Like, that's what I want to know. And there's the thing. Why I've become a little bit more obsessed with it is you don't hear rumblings. There's no I mean, maybe they're out there. I have not heard them. She's beautiful. She's clearly intelligent because she's built a career and she's smart business wise and all this other stuff. She's rich. What is it? I have a hard time believing it's needy because everything you read about the whole Friends cast is they are all like super tight because they were
Exactly.
all unselfish.
Right.
So I can't
I
figure out.
wonder. You should ask in our group
Well, it's
chat,
like-
see what else everybody else thinks.
Well, it's like Taylor Swift. She can't, she goes, she has a new boyfriend.
Yeah, but she's
every-
younger too, though.
That's a little different
She's
because
in her
nobody wants a
30s,
whole
right?
entire album written about them.
That's true.
Right.
That's why people are hesitant there.
No, but she goes out with a lot of guys. It's a new guy every other month or whatever.
Yeah.
But
What were you going to say, Janine? What do you want to ask in the group chat?
Why you should ask why does everybody think that Jennifer Aniston can't hold down her guy?
Yeah, I'm
just got it. I don't know.
I'm befuddled.
Don't get it.
And she takes, there was one picture in that new article, right? Because this is all from a new article.
Oh, I don't know.
I forgot what it was now. In Style, maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know if
That
that's
was a nice picture.
Dude, like, she's got the whole eye thing going on. Like, she could take a picture.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all professionally done, these pictures, too.
No, they are, but I'm still saying there was one.
I loved her
particular.
in Horrible Bosses.
Oh, she was great.
That's the other thing, too. She picks crazy
And Meet
roles
the
like that.
Millers.
So, yeah.
That's a good. Oh yeah.
Look at that outfit, first of all. This is not to my point, but somebody brought up that Harry Styles wore the exact same thing.
Oh god.
Her and Harry, they
Who wore
were
it better?
They were twice wearing the same outfits, that and a T-shirt I saw.
Yeah, she could take a picture.
Yeah, they said like she's like, oh okay, oh wait, no, this isn't. Yeah, this isn't the good one, but this. Oh wait, yeah, this one.
Yeah, we get it.
Oh, wait.
She's hot. We got it. That's pretty good.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Like, come on. Like I know I'll wear that white dress so I could be spread eagle and give that look, like come on, you know what you're doing there.
Yeah, that puzzled look of, oh, I didn't know you were coming over.
Yeah. This is the kind of thing that makes me drop my phone. My wife goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm looking at these pictures. That's. And I don't have phone insurance. You know that, Frank.
That's true.
All right. Anyway, I'm glad you had a good birthday and you didn't get stung to death by a cicada, JSabs. That's.
I didn't say it was good.
Yeah, starting out your birthday
Yeah.
with a funeral.
Was
No,
it?
it
Was
was
it?
better. It was much better at night.
Are you starting to accept though that you're old as fuck now and birthdays are just like it's awful. It's not a good thing. You're still like one of these I'm celebrating my birthday type people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see how Anthony made everybody believe that you were 58?
Oh my god, he's such an ass. I mean, he had to put up the picture of that girl too. Like, oh, and somebody wrote like, something about me. Like they thought it was me. I'm like, no, that's not me.
That's your celebrity doppelganger, though.
That makes me
I
laugh
don't
so
know.
hard.
I don't see it.
Some
don't see it?
people literally did not even know that that wasn't even Janine in that picture.
Thanks.
That's not bad.
He's
That
laughing.
made me so happy. That was my little birthday present on Janine's birthday.
Thanks.
The fact that people were like, "You look good, JSabs."
Meanwhile, she looks like a fucking hot mess. And I'm
She's
like,
eating
oh,
a cake, smoking a cigarette, and drinking like a beer or something. Yeah, there it is.
Look at that. That looks exactly like you. I don't know what this girl's name is. She's on that show I hate.
She's on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the other girl. Oh, okay, that's a different show.
Oh God, he doesn't even know what show I'm on.
The hell is her name? Something.
What is
last
this girl's
starts
name? I
with
don't
an
know.
O.
Olsen. I had to Google it.
Caitlin Olsen.
Yeah, that's it. You should sue her for copyright infringement. Be like, that's my face, motherfucker. What are
You
you
could
doing
be her
with it?
stand-in
You know what I
or
wanna
her
do?
stunt double.
I want to message her on Instagram one day and just be like, "Have you ever been told that you look like me?"
You know what you should do?
That's funny.
There are
That's
people
great.
on Instagram and whatever that like are celebrity doppelgangers that like have their own following because they look like.
Yes.
You should be the Caitlin Olsen of Instagram. You know,
Oh yeah.
you should do that. Start a whole thing. Like just lean into it.
There's a girl who does her makeup like Christina Aguilera, and she does resemble her, but when she does her makeup, she looks even more like her. And Christina Aguilera has liked and commented on her videos, so I'm like, I should do that.
See
That's
that? I'm telling
funny.
you.
It's pretty funny.
Jump the numbers up on your
Right.
OnlyFans.
How's that OnlyFans doing?
Pretty good.
Kicking into gear?
1 year older. Now I'm in the MILF section.
Nice. Little half gallon of MILF.
Right, exactly.
Half gallon of milk. Did you just come up with
I
that?
just
or you
came up with that just now.
That's not bad.
Is that all right?
I've been really annoyed at how well you do in the last 3 seconds of the show.
That's
Thank
what
you.
she said.
All right.
That's what Aaron says.
It's all about it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
ShopAnthonyDownThere.com. Grab some merch here. We got our Show Me Potato Salad shirts, the Not Now shirts, which always look great on everybody. The silhouette shirts, which we haven't talked about. The glass of wine shirts. These are all, we're going to the ladies section right now.
Hey ladies. I
We
like
got
the beer ones. Those are cool.
The beer ones, that's what she said. And of course, the latest from the Janine collection, long pumps only, right there.
Pick them up, baby.
I want to get that shirt and wear that into my coffee places and see if anybody, like, the baristas say anything to me.
Well, your picture's up, so they'll
Right.
see you coming a mile away.
That's what she said.
Boom.
Bang. Let's go out with that. I hate that this thing pops up, but I can't turn it off. I apologize to everybody who's trying to buy a shirt. All right, that's it for us. We will catch you on the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. Again, shopanthonyonair.com. Grab some merch, or anthonyonair.com. See everywhere you can follow us. You could also listen to this if you can't sit down and watch the whole thing. Somebody wrote me the nicest note that they watch what they can while the show is premiering, and then they take it with them to work in the car the following day.
Nice.
They was so sweet, though. They were like, is there any way to, like, they're like, I watch the show, but when I listen in my car, can I just pick up from where I left off? I'm like, unfortunately, YouTube does not communicate with Apple Podcast in that.
Oh.
I wish they did, but you got to kind of
Just
like,
got to remember where you
where
were.
to go. But it was very, very sweet. So that's all our info. You guys got anything else? You good?
I'm good.
All right.
Peachy.
Then
Peace.
I think we're done. Are we gonna have a long therapy
After
session? Post show therapy session?